Morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are so happy to have you, and welcome to the Grow with Google Part 2, Digital Skills for Everyday Tasks. And we will be working with Google Docs, Google Slides, and Google Forms. So again, for those of you that weren't able to join us last month, this workshop is sponsored by Google, but we have three wonderful community organizations that pull together to partner on this project. We have Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Lansing Alumnae Chapter, and then we have Greater Lansing Area Club of National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women, and we have Chums Incorporated. So it is our pleasure to be your workshop facilitators today. I'm Rashay Lonzo, a member of Lansing Alumnae Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority in Lansing, and I'm also a member of the Greater Lansing Area Club. Co-presenting with me this morning, we have Katriva Bisbee. Can you say hi, Katriva?
Hello, ladies. Great to have you. Those that had joined us last time, welcome back. I'm excited.
And then we have Carmen Harding. Can you say hello, Carmen?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. And I'm really excited to help you with Gmail. So looking forward to it.
Yay. So now that we got those formalities out the way and you know who we are, it's time for us to get to know a little bit about you. And I know if you attended last month, you're kind of like, I already completed that information. But let me tell you, the answers to these questions help us learn where your current comfort level is. And it also allows us to fulfill our obligation with the Google grant. So if you could please let us know that your personal information will not be shared with anyone. So we just want you to answer the questions, and the poll questions help us to better plan for this type of workshop and future workshops. We will launch that now. And it's 4 quick questions. So what is your competency level with Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drive? That's the first question. Okay. Oh, they went really quickly. So you have right there, male, female, gender non-conforming, prefer not to answer, age, ethnicity. And those just help meet the needs for our Google partnership. And let's see, we only have 13 of 20 people, 14 of, okay, come on. We got 20 people online. We got 75% participation. Well, we'll take it. 75% is good. Okay, we can end that poll. Thank you for those who completed that. Okay, thank you. You want to take a look at the results. So we are about 87% somewhat skilled, but may require some assistance. And that's what we're here for today. So we're so glad that you're able to join us. And this particular partnership and initiative is focused on females. So we have 100% female participation. Yay. And I mean, to be very specific, it's focused on African-American females. So we have 100% participation of African-American females. So thank you guys so much. We will go ahead and close that out. And let's see. Okay, so Grow with Google initiative helps people grow their skills, careers, and businesses and personal life. So they offer free digital skills training and tools like this. So this is free. And we'll provide resources at the end of this workshop where you can access more free workshops like these. Today is going to be an extension of what we learned during the last workshop. And you might think, oh, wait, I missed that workshop. Don't fret, okay? Because we are still going to brush up on some of those things that we learned from last month, and we'll be able to get you right on board. And this is, let me reassure you that this is going to be an interactive workshop. So you'll be able to ask questions, and we have an intimate group tonight. So this morning, so we'll be able to ask questions and interact with one another. So if you have an issue, let us know. You can put it in the chat or you can raise your hand, okay? We're going to go over a couple of ground rules. And I know many of us have been Zooming for 2 years now, right? Probably since 2020, since the beginning of the pandemic. So we all know that we've heard these rules before, but know that we only ask that we all participate and respect the rules so that we have an enjoyable presentation. The main tip is going to be to mute your microphone. So don't be surprised if you look up and you see that you've been muted. We're not being rude at all. We just want to ensure that everyone has a pleasurable experience this morning. And if you have any questions at all, like I said, this is interactive. So we want to make sure that no one is left behind in this. You know, we did get feedback last month that some people felt like they needed more time or they wanted someone to work closer with them. So that's what this is going to be this morning, especially since we have such an intimate group. So if you have any questions at all, please, please, please use the chat feature to post your question or concern, and we'll get to it. We'll make sure that we address your concerns that are in the chat, or use the raise hand feature. And if you need help doing that, just kind of do like this, like the SOS, and we'll even show you how to use that feature right now before we get started. Okay, so the workshop agenda today. This morning, you will get signed into your Google account, and we'll help you access Google Drive like we did last time. Remember that Google Drive is a free cloud-based digital drive where you can store pictures, projects, files, plans, things like that. We'll also show you how to open and use 3 main Google applications. So the Google Docs, Google Slides, and Google Forms. And the skills that we cover today, you definitely can apply them to a variety of situations, everyday situations that you experience at work, or organizations that you might be involved in, church roles that you might have, and even family projects. So during this session, I'm sorry. Do we need to mute somebody? I'm sorry. Okay, so during the session, we'll give you some hints and tips that will make life easier for you. At the end, we'll share a few resources and open up the floor for any questions that we didn't answer or address during our presentations. So are you ready to begin? We're gonna grow with Google this morning, and I'm gonna turn you over into the very capable hands of Carmen Harding.
Thank you. Thank you, Rashane. We appreciate it. So good morning again, everyone. I will be walking you through your Gmail. So your Gmail is just your email within Google. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. What you want to do in preparation is make sure that you have your password and your email address, okay? Because you're going to need that to log in. So I'm going to share my screen, my desktop. So you should be able to see my family. Can everybody see my family? Yes. Okay. Very good. Okay. So what's really cool, excuse me, about Google is you can access your Gmail through several different ways. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways for those who use Safari and those who use Chrome. So those are browsers. So you can use either one. My computer has both of them. So down here at the bottom left, you have Safari and you have Chrome. So I'm going to log into my Gmail through Safari first, okay? So make sure, again, you have your email and your password. Now, when you go to your browser, it's going to take a few minutes to open up. Well, hopefully not a few minutes, a few seconds to open up. And what you're going to do in your search bar is type in mail.google.com. So you can do this in any browser. So no matter if you're at the Starbucks or at the library or you're at your friend's house or your family member visiting, as long as you can get to a browser, you can get to your Gmail account. So I'm going to press enter, and I've already had things set up. So for those of you who don't have it set up, it's going to ask you to log in. So I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to log in. And if you have any issues, raise your hand. I see some things in the chat. Thank you.
Carmen, can we ask people to give us a thumbs up if you were able to log in? We just want to make sure that we're all doing this together, that no one feels like they got left out on the step, and we'll need to be logged in to do the next couple projects. So please, in the chat, just give us a thumbs up that you were able to log in successfully into your Gmail account.
All right, for the Chrome users. So I'm going to just jump out of this for now. So for those of you who use Chrome, you're going to go to your Google Chrome, and when you launch, this is what you'll see. So I have several Google accounts, and I've already logged in, and it remembers my profiles. Okay, so for those who are on Chrome, this is what it may look like. Somebody, okay, Valerie. Can you come off of mute and see if I can help you quickly? Okay. So if you're on Chrome and you have several Gmail accounts, this is what you'll see. So I'm just going to click into one of my accounts. So I don't have it set up where it goes right to my Gmail. So I'm going to, again, just like I did in Safari, I'm going to type out mail.google.com. And so, because everything's all set up, when I click on this, it's going to automatically open my account.
So we do have a question. Linda Goins, you want to go ahead with your question?
You have to come off of mute.
Yep, just unmute.
I don't have a question. I was saying, yes, I got there.
You ready? Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to go full screen here. Okay, so you should have your email open at this point in time. So some things that you want to know about your Gmail account, or how it's set up, is that at the top right, you have your profile. And if you want to switch from your different accounts, you just click on that. I don't have it set up, but you can add your account. So if you have 4 or 5 accounts, you could add them here and it will be attached to this profile. So you can switch back and forth pretty easily. Our 9 dots that we learned in our last session, that takes you to any of the applications in Google. So again, we'll be talking about today your Google Docs and your Google Sheets and your Google Slides. So if you're looking for your 9 dots and you're in your email account, Gmail account, then this is where you'll be able to find those things. And can somebody monitor chat and let me know if there's any questions that I can help with? So, okay. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do, since we're all in our Gmail account, is to look at our settings. So you're going to click at the top right at the little widget, and this is going to show you some of your settings. So you can kind of play around with, how close together your emails are, how far apart. It compacts it. So you see how it pulls everything really closely. This is kind of what they consider comfortable, and this is the default. So I like to see there's attachments in there. So I'm comfortable with this. You can change your theme. You can make it different colors to suit you. And then there's some other settings that you can kind of play around with. But I want you to go to See All Settings. So when you click on that, it's going to give you some more options. And it's going to open you up to General. So one of the first things that we're going to do this morning is figure out how to undo send. So sometimes we type up our email and we send it off. And as soon as we send it off, you say, oh man, I forgot to add that attachment. Or, I forgot to put this detail on there. So this is a really great feature that Gmail has that you can actually undo your send. So once you get to your settings, you're going to be in general, and you're going to scroll down to, it is called, did I pass it? Undo send. It's right here. Undo send. And it says send cancellation period. And it's currently set at 5 seconds. So if you never change this setting, it's going to be set to 5 seconds. So as soon as you hit send, you got 5 seconds and then it's sent. So in order to give yourself some time, you can increase the undo send time. So you can put 10, 20, 30. I'm going to set it to 30 just to give me some time to show you how it works. So once you make a change in your settings, you have to scroll all the way down. And then at the bottom, it asks you to save. So if you never save your changes down here at the bottom, they don't take. So make sure that you click save your changes. So it's going to refresh and open up your Gmail, and then you should be able to use this feature. So I am going to type an email. So I'm going to send, press compose. Okay. Don't know why I had to send that so many times. All right, so I'm going to type an email to myself on my AOL, and I'm just going to put test email. And I'm going to say, good morning. I have attached document below. Okay, so I'm going to send it without my attachment, because if you're like me, you do it quite a bit. So I'm going to push send. So when I push send, it actually says, hey, you wrote I have attached, but you haven't attached any files. Do you want to send anyway? Just for this demonstration, we're going to say yes. So I'm going to push OK. Now down here at the left bottom.
I'm sorry, Carmen, let me ask you a question. We do have a question. It says, if you have more than one account, do you have to undo send separately in each account?
Yes. Yep. You do not. Once you set it for one, it doesn't set it for all of them. So you're going to have to go into each account and set this feature. So I'm not sure if you all caught it because we were taking a question, but when I push send, it's going to show in your bottom left corner, and it's going to allow you to view your message or to undo. So I'm going to send it again, not making the correction. So pay attention to the bottom left corner. So I'm going to send it again. It's going to ask it. Okay. So it says sending. So right here, I have undo or view message. So as long as I hit this in 30 seconds, I can undo it. And it's going to open up my email again and allow me to attach my item. Okay. So that is how you undo send. So while I'm here, I'm going to show you how easy it is to grab a document from your Google Drive and put it into your email. So at the bottom where the send button is, you have some options. So you have an attachment. So that means you can attach anything that's currently on your desktop or whatever device that you're using. So that works like any other email where you can just attach things. What's really cool about Gmail is that this symbol here stands for the Google Drive, and you can click on that Google Drive and it'll show you your drive. So you can not have to go through an attachment, but you can go right to your drive and send a presentation or a link if you want. So I'm just going to click on a presentation that we recently did, and then it's going to allow you to insert it. And so it's right there at the top, right from your Google Drive. and you can go ahead and send the attachment. So everybody still with me? Can I get a thumbs up? Let's see here. Participants.
Now, Carmen, can we pose a question to the participants?
Sure.
So I'm not sure how many participants are actually using their Google Drive, or if they use their computer or maybe a Microsoft document or something, or their desktop. So if you use your Google Drive, can you type a 1 in the chat? And if you use something else to attach documents, can you type a 2 in the chat? Just so we understand, because I know Ms. Carmen is doing this, assuming that some of us are using the Google Drive. And if you are, that's wonderful. But if you use your Google Drive to go to and attach your document, type a 1 in the chat. If you use any other location, like your C drive, desktop, something else, type a 2 in the chat, just so we're aware.
Okay. So thank you. So it looks like most of us are using our drives, which is great. But just for those of you who only use your attachment feature, in this next kind of demo, I will attach something from your desktop or from something other than your drive, okay? All right. So another cool feature in your Gmail is scheduling an email. I absolutely love this feature. I use it all the time. And it's great because when I have the space, I can just go ahead and write out my emails. I can put my attachments in there. Everything is ready to go. Like if I know that I'm having a meeting and I'm going to send out a reminder, then I can schedule that several weeks in advance. And so this is a really great feature, again, that I use all the time. So what you're going to do is go to your compose, and you're going to go ahead. Let me move all this stuff out the way so you can actually see. And you can compose an email. So I'm going to send myself another email. And I'm going to say schedule test. And say this is a reminder about meeting tonight. Okay. So you can type several people in, no worries. So for those of you who don't use your Google Drive, you can use your regular attachment feature. So you just click this and you can just pick a file in your on your device. So here are some files that I have. I'm just going to put a quick the minutes for a meeting that I recently had. So what's cool and how you use your schedule feature is, I'm trying to move this out the way. Okay, so you're going to go to your send button, and right next to your send button, there is a little down arrow. So what you're going to do is click your down arrow, and it's going to ask you to schedule send. So you're going to click that, and it's going to ask you, it has some presets. So tomorrow morning, you can click that. You want to send it this afternoon at 1 p.m. or tomorrow, Monday morning, which is a week from now at 8 a.m. So say you want to pick another date. You can actually pick your date and time. So I'm just going to click on this, and I'm going to schedule us to send on the March 28th. And I want to send it at 2:30. So I'm just going to type here 2:30, and I'm going to click schedule to send. So before I leave this, is everybody still with me? Can we get a thumbs up? Any questions in the chat?
questions in the chat that I see.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to click schedule send, and there we go. So at the bottom, our notification says undo view message. But what's really cool, what you'll notice here is you have a scheduled folder. So when you click on your scheduled folder, it shows what's scheduled and when it's scheduled over here. So what may happen, and I do it a lot too, is that you need to make a change. So you need to add another file. You thought about it. It's before the send date. So you can actually go back and revise this email, but you can't make any changes until you cancel send. So right here, I'm just going to add another attachment just so you know how to do it. And so I'm going to cancel send so I can go in and revise my original note. I have too much stuff open here. 1 second. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to add another attachment here, and I'm going to add the agenda. So now we have 2 attachments, and guess what? If I push send now, it's going to send it right now. So we have to go back through, click the down arrow, and schedule the send again. So what's cool is that it tells you what you scheduled it before, for before. So it tells you the day and the time you scheduled it. So you can click it again if you're not going to make any changes, or you can go through the same process and pick a new time and date. Okay, so this will schedule send. And then when you open up your email on March the 28th after 2:30, it'll show that it was sent. Okay, so one final thing that I would like to share before I turn it over to Ms. Katriva is how to set your signature. So
I'm sorry, Carmen, one question in the chat. Is there a maximum number of messages that can be scheduled at one time?
No, there's no maximum. I've scheduled up to 4 or 5 at a time, but you can schedule, to my knowledge, as many as you need to. So I do not think that there's a maximum. Are there any other questions? Okay, so we're going to learn how to do a signature, and then I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Katriva. So what you're going to do is go back to your settings. So you're going to go back up to your widget in the top right, and you're going to go see all settings. Okay, and so what's cool is that you can have more than one signature. So I'm going to scroll down. It says phone numbers, hover actions, images, spelling. You can turn your auto correct on and off. And you're going to keep on scrolling down. You have some stars that can help you to organize, but we're going to go past that, and we're going to go to signature. So what's really cool is that you can create more than one signature. So say you're in several organizations, or you're the chair of several committees, you can actually create a signature for each one of those positions or organizations. So right here, you're going to click create new. And I'm just going to call this my Delta signature. Okay, and so every time, and I'll show you what it looks like when you get ready to do your message, but at the end, it's going to say in Delta, right? So every time I'm going to send something to one of the members of our organization, I'm going to put in Delta Carmen. Now, we want to make sure that we do I don't know why this thing is save our changes. So once I can get this to move out the way, okay. And so it says for email use, so you can set a default. So if you set it as a default, then it's going to put that on every new email and on every here. So you can do that. So every new email is going to assume that you're sending it to Delta, or every reply or forward, then you can also select the signature to go as well. So right now, I'm not going to set it as a default or anything like that. I still want to be able to type or pick which signature that I would like to do. So while we're here, let's go ahead and just play with creating another one. So I am also a member of Jack and Jill. So I'm going to call this J and J. And I'm going to create another one. So now this will be my second one. So I'll just say, for the children. I'm going to put my name. Okay. So at this point, I have 2. But guess what? If I don't go down here and say save changes, then it won't save. So make sure we go and we scroll down and we save our changes. Okay, so the last thing you want to do, so you know how to use your signatures, is I'm going to compose a new message. And so I'm going to send it to my other email address because I have an AOL. And I'm just going to say, this is actually going to be for Jack and Jill. So I'm going to say, mother's meeting. See you tonight. So I can pick my signature. I'll move this out the way. So right here, that little pen, it says manage signature. So on this one, I'm going to click my J and J. And there you go. So for this one, I'm going to send that signature for that organization, and I'm going to press send. And there we go. Okay. So hopefully you've learned a little more about your Gmail account and some of the really cool features that it has. Again, I just, asked you to kind of play around with it. Go into your widgets, kind of see what things do. You won't mess anything up, especially if you don't save changes. Or you may go to, and make some setting changes, see what it does. And if you don't like it, then you can also, go back or delete those changes. So again, hopefully you learned a little bit more about your Gmail this morning. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to, I have a question before I turn it over. I'm sorry. Ms. Moore?
Yeah, quick question. You went just a trifle a little too fast. I was even testing one to April. How now do I get that signature in there with this new? I got a new message to April Clark. How do I put this signature in it?
Okay,
I saved it.
Okay.
But I don't know how to find it.
Okay, no worries. So if you've saved a note, if you look down here to your left, it's going to be under your drafts.
No, I got the message up there.
You have it up.
I just can't get this my in Delta signature in there.
Okay.
How do I insert it?
Okay, so I'm going to just go through it really quickly again. So I'm going to send it to, okay. So what you're going to do, no subject. So what you're going to do is at the bottom. So,
where is it? Yeah.
Okay, so you see your send button there?
Yeah.
Okay, so to the right, you have some different options here. So you see that pen?
Yes, that's it.
Yep, it's going to be right there.
Yep. I didn't know what it looked like. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so that's how you would change your signature. Okay.
Carmen, before you turn it over, if there's anyone else that would like to add the signature, again, we want this to be interactive. We don't want us to just be having a preaching to you or teaching to you, and you have questions that you don't feel were answered. So if this is something you would like that was really quick how Carmen just went through and helped Ms. Moore. If this is something you would like, please just indicate in the chat so we can help you so that you leave here feeling like you accomplished something with us. So at any point, if there's a question that you might have, or you want us to slow it down a bit or whatever, please, 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 we don't know unless you tell us. So please let us know.
That's great, because that was what I was going to lead off with. And so if you get stuck in a step, again, we learned years ago, there's no crazy, silly question, right? Make sure that you are asking your questions. I understand that some of you guys may be at work and you're just kind of logging in for support. We get it, we thank you. But those who are actually at home, at an office, and that can participate and need the assistance, please let us know. So. All right, so we learned about our email. So now we're going to learn about how to create a document and probably attach it at some point to our email to send out, okay? So I am going to be sharing with you the Google Docs feature. And let me pull up my things. All right, so we are in our Gmail. So we learned how to log into our Gmail because all these features are within the Gmail platform. So we are going to go to our 9 grids, 9 dots, or some people call it a grid, but we're going to be consistent. We started off calling it the 9 dots. So the 9 dots in the top right corner, we will click that. And again, this will show you all the features that are available within the Google platform. And we are going to Google Docs. So that is going to be indicated by a blue type of sheet of paper. And again, it's kind of similar and equivalent to our Word. That's why they have them color coordinated the same. So Google Docs is similar to your Word documents, and those icons are blue. And so here, you have this blank, so you can, start your stuff afresh, blank, or we have these templates. And again, y'all, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. If it's a quick way to do something, utilize the template because it will definitely make life easy and you can definitely save more time. So you have different template options that you can scroll and see. So if you want to do some invites, some parties, some quotes or invoices. Some of us are professional business women, and maybe you do invoices. Those are opportunities. If you are a person in HR and you send out and you do the hiring and firing and you need to do one of those letters, you have some options, human resources options and things of the such here. If you want to do any invites, so you really have options. So they have a lot of things here to assist and help you. And so for the sake of what we're doing, we are going to do, let's just go to,
Ava, zoom in just a little bit more for them.
Zoom?
Just a little bit more.
I'll do that.
Do a control plus sign on your keyboard. So control key plus.
Control.
And then click your plus sign a couple of times, just twice maybe.
Oh, yeah, cool. Wonderful. Hey, see? I'm learning too, y'all. Is this good enough or should I do it one more time?
Good.
Okay. All right, there we go. So we just clicked that template. So we're just sending a wonderful letter. And so you've clicked that. And because this template is how it is, you just really go in and you just edit. So I am going to make sure that I begin putting the information that I need. Oh, hold on. All right, here we go. So and 1, 2, 3. I like it, Brian. I like that street. So again, you're just going into your template. You are switching out the things. If you don't need something, so for instance, in this case, maybe I don't need to put my email in here. And so I can delete my email. So let's just take my email off. Maybe they don't need to know that, right? So you can just take that off. We're going to do our, what's today, March? Been feeling like December the last couple of days. So you fill in, dear Mr. Billy Bob. And you put the contents of your letter. This is in another language that I don't know how to interpret, but just put something. It was a pleasure meeting the team today. Different features in here. Again, this is similar to Word documents. So if you did something and you made a boo-boo, you can undo it. So say if I, let's say, because I did it earlier. Okay, so I didn't want to do that. So you go up here to your top feature. You have these two arrows. One is backward, one is forward. So the backward is your undo. So it's kind of like how when Carmen was like, whoops, we don't want to send that. We want to take it away. You just click that and it'll go back to what you do. So sometimes you may insert things, you may forget, your hand might touch the wrong thing. And so just make sure that you undo. And then it also tracks what you did moving forward. So if you're like, oh, I really like that, well, let me go back and let me keep it that way. So you have these options of undoing. And so this feature actually saved me once. I was writing a document, actually one of my doctoral papers, and I'm not really sure what exactly happened, but I knew something happened and I couldn't catch it. And what I ended up doing to make sure that I was able to allocate for all the changes I made, I literally probably clicked this undo button about 20 times, and I found something that I cut and I forgot to paste. And so I was able to kind of grab that back. So this can be a lifesaver. Just some other features when you're doing a document, you're able to highlight. So if I wanted to highlight, Miss Billy Bob's, you go here, bold, and you do have some shortcut features. So just like how Hope was able to tell me to do the control and another feature, if you're that person, for me, I can't remember all of those things. So I like to use the keys that are available to me. But you have other individuals that's their whole thing. So you can click the bold. If you wanted to italicize, you can do that. And we're just doing that for the sake of just going through some features. But know that in different particular writings and things, there's a way a letter's supposed to be. You have to have the date, the return address, and your greeting and the salutation. So in letters like this, it probably won't be bolded and italicized, but again, we're just showing you the different features. So you have that. If you want to change the font, so this one is at 11. Typically 12 is standard. Depending on how much you want to get on the page, sometimes folks may be a little bit challenged. But in the business professional world, you probably won't send anything that's like this big of a font. But if you're sending just something to one of your friends or your coworkers, and you want to make sure they're able to see it, you could. So you can plus it or minus it, back it down, or you can just type right in here, 25, and then hit enter. So you can use your plus or minus signs, or you can just click it and type the number that you want it to go to in there. All right, so give me a 1 in the chat if you are with me so far. If you're like, hey, Sister Katriva, strange lady, I don't know you, or Sora Bigsby, I'm with you. Type a 1 in the chat.
Katriva, this is April. What did you hit to make that a foreign language?
The template already comes with a foreign language. Most templates and graphic documents word processing documents, it comes with this Latin language. And so in the world of word processing and graphic design, you just kind of type over it. So the template already had that fake language in there. And so what Katriva showed you at the beginning is how to replace the language.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And we do have a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I was about to tell Katriva she's got a question. Is there a reason why sometimes a saved Google Drive document changes format when you save it? And Laurel, you may want to elaborate on your question. Is that referring to the document that you've been working on for a while?
Yes. What happens is sometimes I'll have a document saved in it's various documents, and then I may go to edit it and send it out, and the format changes altogether, where it's where I'll have to redo the document.
And that's a whole total inconvenience. I totally understand. So
does that happen?
I'm not sure how you are sending it out, Ms. Laurel. Like, are you just kind of attaching it, or are you doing what we learned maybe last time? Are you just updating it and the individuals are able to share? Because sometimes coming from, because there's a way that you can extract a Google Doc, save it or download it, and so it can be presented into a Word doc. And so then it kind of opens up, or vice versa. You're able to take a Word doc and upload that to Google Doc. So I'm not sure in what format that you're doing.
And that's what I've been doing is saving a Word document and uploading it to the Google Docs.
Okay.
Is that what changes the format? Could change the format?
Yes. And or it can make it how Carmen was talking about the emails, how it might make it closer together. It might take the spacing out.
Yes.
It's kind of like when you do the copy and paste. If you guys notice, when you paste, sometimes there's 4 or 3 different pastes. And so sometimes you just have to hover over that because it'll actually copy and paste how you copied it. Or then also it can copy it and paste it as the current format of what you've already typed. And so sometimes what I do is I make sure I hover over those paste options so that when it is doing that, it's copying it exactly in the format that I have already started.
Katriva, can you show us what you're talking about?
Sure. Okay, we showing this in because we're doing Google Docs, so I guess I need to show you in Google Docs. Okay, wonderful. So let's go here. Okay, so this is that, and so let me grab something from somewhere right quick. So something, I don't know, media or Facebook, something, I don't know what I want to do. Okay. Okay, so this is beginner's guide. So we're just gonna take something. So we're gonna copy this right here. So you copy, then right click, hit copy. We're gonna go back here. And so I want to paste this right here. So you have the regular paste, and then you have the paste without formatting. So let's check out and see what it does. So when I paste it pasted as my other language or my other things up here. Actually, it might have pasted it in a different font, but for the most part, but let's undo. And then let's see if we paste it without formatting. All right, there you go. So pasting without formatting, it copied and pasted exactly as this initial. And so you can see the difference because it'll have all of the things highlighted. So let's go back again. When I do it and paste it regular, it pasted in the robo font that I copied it from on this particular thing. And then when I did it without the formatting, it copied it in what is already up here. So sometimes too, depending on what versions that you have typed your document in, if you don't have an updated version, sometimes it may say, hey, this format may change because maybe your font, you don't have this font. So some of us like just kind of operating outdated sometimes. And so sometimes that really happens. I used to be totally stuck to one version of something, but listen, in life, we got to upgrade. So with other things, we have to upgrade too. So don't be afraid to upgrade and embrace change, y'all. That was just a quick inspirational moment for y'all. So that is how that goes. Any questions about any of that? When you are wanting to insert, so say if you wanted to insert a table, insert some kind of symbol or special character, they have lots that you can do. Lots to choose from. If you want to do something that's maybe a copyright or an arrow of some sort, there are different kind of symbols. You can emojis, punctuations, a variety of things. So let's go to a symbol and let's use one. I use, where's the little dot thing at? I use that one a lot. Well, I don't see it, but let's go ahead and push something like that in here. Okay, so that if you're searching for something, you can maybe say, or square, yes. I can't see me. So then I search squares. There's a lot of squares. So if you are making a document that maybe you want to kind of do a square that has a check mark that kind of looks like a check mark type of thing, you have the ability to do that. So it will insert it in there for you. And then so you can format your different things. If you kind of had a list of some sort and wanted to have it kind of like check boxes, you can do it like that. But again, up here, you wanted to save this. So
we do have a question. I'm sorry. We have, go ahead with your question. I think it's Miss Hollis.
Yes.
I'm sorry, error.
Okay.
So one cool thing about Google, I think we mentioned the last time, Google automatically saves. So, you know, back in the day when we learned about keyboarding and processing and stuff like that, the whole thing was, hey, you better save. You never know, something might happen and you might lose your stuff. And so with Google, when you're in these platforms, these documents are automatically saved. So you don't have to go and say, you know, save file or anything like that. If you wanted to create a name for a file, you could do that. You can rename it. So here we'll do Grow with Google test doc. No, okay, no, we're doc. All righty, and so that's it. And so I click off of that. That's automatic save. I don't have to go anywhere and put save or anything, and it will continue. It saves your stuff as you type it real time. And those are some of the basic things. The basic thing is when you're creating something, you need to know how to get your fonts. There's a list of different fonts. And again, making sure that your fonts are appropriate for whatever it is that you're doing. If you're communicating with your coworkers, it should be some stand-up font. If you're creating something cool for your kids, it can be some playful fonts, but make sure that you go here and figure out the different fonts.
We do have a question.
Yes.
How long will the file be saved
The file is saved
indefinitely.
forever. So remember, Ms. Lonzo indicated that this is a cloud-based platform and storage. And so once I click and exit out of here, it's there. You can always go back to it. You can always access it from your Google Drive. It's just there until you delete it.
Okay, Katrina, can you do a quick demo of bulleted list or indenting so we can see what that looks like?
Absolutely. Yeah. So here we go. So you can either start it off with bullets. So we got some lists, some bullets here. So you can start it off with bullets. And so as you type, so for instance, let's do this right here. All right. So as you type, it's already there. Or, so you can go up there and you can click it, and then as you type and you enter, it'll do your thing. Or what we can do is I can type. And then I can highlight and say, I want these things bulleted. So you can start your stuff and then go highlight it and bullet it later, or you can click the bulleted feature and then you can start like that. And you can change your bullets to have cool stuff. It can be the regular bullets. It can be something fancy. It can be squares. So whatever it is, you have options. So those are bulleted. And you said indent, Ms. Lonzo? Okay.
Yes, please.
So if you're here, so if you're writing wonderful big papers like Lonzo and I are, you definitely have to make sure that you have indented. And so you will just tab that over. If you have paragraphs and you want to make sure that your spacing is aligned, so this will be left, this will be centered. This is to the right, and then this is justified. So for me, when I'm writing things, it will justify everything to the right margin. So see how right here, this is all crisp and lined up versus down here, it's kind of jagged. It's up to preference, and then also depending on what kind of document that you're using. So when you're in schooling, you definitely have to use everything to the left. You have an option to also your line spacing. So right now, this is custom at 1.2. But usually if you want to do a single, you can do it like that. And so it's just the spacing in between your sentences. You can do a 1.15. When typically you're in school, we're doing double spaced. Or you can customize. So maybe I want to do 1.75. And there you go. So you have indented your paragraph. And if you don't need an indent, you can just back the thing up. If you do, you just tab. So we learned about our undo or continue redo options. We've learned about our fonts. You learned about the size of your font, how to change that. We learned how to bold something. We learned how to italicize. If you are starting and you're going to do a list and you want to differentiate, you can bold and then underline, and then under here, we can say, and if you're like, oh man, I didn't want all of those bolded or underlined, you can highlight those and take the bold and the underline off, And now they're listed under members. And then we could do a whole combo thing right here. Boom. We're gonna put some bullets right there. Geniuses, all of you guys. And so those are some of the basic features as it relates to Google Docs. Are there any questions? Remember, you don't have to save. It automatically
can you please,
saves.
can you go over the
for
save
you.
feature, Katriva? Can you go over the save feature?
There is no save feature. It saves on its
Oh, it
own.
says, okay, go over the save feature. Okay, so it is an automatic save.
It's an auto save,
Mm.
yes.
Can I interject, please? This is Carmen. So what you'll see at the top of the Google Doc, and anytime you're working in the drive, it says right there, yep, last edit was seconds ago. So that is when it's saving. So that's how you can tell. And then if you close your document, it's automatically going to save. So you don't have to do like in Microsoft where you have to go to file, save, or save as. So it'll give you real time. When's the last time the system saved it? Thank you.
Thank you, Hope, with your wonderful indicators. All righty. So any questions? All right. And so we're going right into the forms.
No, we're gonna do slides.
All right, slide. All right, we got
Okay.
over to Miss Rashane Lonzo, who will
Yes.
tell you guys about slides.
Yeah. So what I want to stress is that it may sound complicated, but it is not. We're gonna make this easy peasy for you, okay? And Google does all of the hard work for us. And I'll be sharing my screen in just a second here. Now that Katriva walked us through our Google Docs, we'll transition into our Google Slides. So what if we want to communicate our plan or event to others? For example, if you're planning a retreat, an annual fundraiser, any type of event or activity, or just information that you might want to highlight, be creative with your highlighting of this information. This is where we can use Google Slides. So Google Slides is similar to basic PowerPoint. So if you use PowerPoint, can you just indicate a 1 in there for yes and a 2 for no in the chat if you're familiar with PowerPoint? Just so we have a basic general understanding of where people might be. And PowerPoint's been around for a very long time. And some of us might be just really used to using PowerPoint and finding it challenging to transition over to Google Slides. And I said some of us, meaning I was one of those. So I've been using PowerPoint forever and had to get comfortable using Google Slides. So we'll go over that. So for these types of situations, and I see it's pretty much, we have a good mix of individuals that have, most of you have used PowerPoint. So this will be an easier transition into using Google Slides. For situations like when we're trying to present information similar to PowerPoint, and we've all sat in these types of meetings where someone is either using a PowerPoint or Google Slides, similar to what you are witnessing today when we're sharing our screens and have information that we're presenting. In Google Slides, we'll create what is known as a slide deck, okay? So simply put, the slide deck is the combination of slides that we will create like a deck of cards. And so the slide deck helps to keep everyone on track, on pace, engaged. It also helps the presenter ensure that they cover important information that they may flag. A perfect example is that I am working with a leadership trainer, and he was looking for presenters and wanted me to present some leadership training. So he sent me samples of the presentation, but did not include, actually it was like a video presentation. It was not a slide deck with it. So he said, I want you to present these to me. He wanted to see how I deliver them. And I said, okay, well, do you want me to do it off your slide deck, or do you want me to create the information based on the video presentation? So in that scenario, it was the slide deck would just help me make sure that I address the key points that he wanted me to address. Otherwise, I will pull the information based on the video that I see, and I will create my own slide deck. So that's what we'll be doing today. And we'll take a look at how to use the presentation to share your progress or ideas with your committee or chapter or organization. And so what I would like to do first is to, can you just put in the chat, what might you use a presentation for? Like for you personally, would it be in your organization to do, should show a budget, to do a presentation or report? Okay, great. Antonia says teaching a course, perfect. Just go ahead and put them in there so we can see. Membership, yes. Yeah, that's a good one is membership, especially orientations and things like that. So just drop in the chat, because this will help you visualize how it is that you can use this real time in your life for trainings. Yes. So when we're walking through this process, I want you to think about chapter meeting, your organization, your presentation, or your, I don't know, your goals for your new role you might have. Something else that you can identify finances. That's great. Yes. And so another thing, even if you're not affiliated with an organization, but you have things that you do at home or with your children or grandchildren, you can work with these types of slides or Google Slides to help with photo albums, creating, helping your children or grandchildren with book reports or presentations, right? Pitching an idea. So kind of keep those things in mind as we work through this. And now I will go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do, can everyone see the screen okay? If you can just, yeah. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Carmen said like pitching an idea or a birthday picture photo slideshow, yes. And so what we'll start with first is we need to go to the 9 dots. So what we'll do is go to the 9 dots, and then we'll just scroll down to Google Slides and click Google Slides. So once you've done that, just put a number 1 in the chat so that we know that we're all on the same page. So again, we go to the 9 dots. And then, awesome, all right. And then we're just gonna go to the 9 dots. You go down and you click Google Slides. And just click a 1. When you just put a 1 in the chat to let me know that you got it, because I wanna make sure that we're all together and that we are. Thank you so much. I appreciate you doing that. And this helps us to, again, make sure that you're getting what it is that you came to this workshop for. You know, we have some specific goals that we were going to achieve today, and we just want to make sure that you leave having a basic understanding of that goal. Not that you're an expert at it, but just that you were able to meet that, meet that objective for today, is to, explore it with us. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So now we're in Google Slides. And what you'll see across here is that you'll see a blank document, which we'll open as well. And you'll see some templates that we all talked about that Google does a phenomenal job of providing us with. And this helps us kind of have an outline of some ideas that we don't have to actually create on our own. We can use what they have as like stock photo or just our outline. And this will help us move through that a little quicker, because you'll see in a minute that it's all like kind of laid out for us. So let me get out of there. So what we'll do, and I apologize for my dogs, they're going to be on punishment after this because they just started barking when I got off mute. So what we're going to do is, the first thing is that we'll go to a blank document, okay? So we're in a blank document right now. Was everyone able to access that blank document okay? All you did was click. Just click the, and this is, again, this is very similar to PowerPoint. So you can click your title right here, add your title. So we'll just put sunny day. Right. And then we can click our subtitle. I love sunny days. Okay. And then what we can do, so that's just basic. All I did was click the document and it told me what information to plug in there. So say, for example, like Katriva showed us how to use our bullets, okay? So say I want to now bullet this information because I wanna just fancy it up a little bit. All I did was go up to the top, and if you hover right over it, it'll tell you what that item is for. So this says, in order for me to create a bulleted list, I just click here and it'll tell me the designs and different ones I can use. So I love sunny days. And then another one might be, I mean, I really love sunny days. And this is just how you add text to that document. And this is going to be our title, and then we're adding text to it. One other thing with this that is similar again to PowerPoint is that they have themes that we could choose. So this can really spice up your presentation and make you look like a whole professional Google Slides presenter. So we can do any one that we want, and you can add your spice to it, your personality. So these are all in here ready for us, okay? So let's do, let's see. Say, for example, actually, so what I'm gonna go back to our main page so I can go to one of our stock presentations, okay? One of our stock presentations. And so what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna exit out of here. I could go backwards or I could exit out. I'll just go to my 9 dots again, go to Google Slides, open it up. And what I wanna show you is, we have a couple different ones, and these are examples. So like Carmen was talking about pitching your idea. So this one here, making presentations that stick, is really about just pitching your idea. We'll open that up. But also another example that Carmen gave was like birthday photos, right? So for our children or grandchildren, we can actually create a photo album with them. The great thing about this, like we had one of those questions, how long can it be saved in your drive? There's no expiration date because it's a cloud-based storage, right? So you can create pictures or a photo album of your grandchildren or your children, or just special vacations and trips, and you can just plug them right here. And I'll show you how to do that. This is for, again, a photo album. So, and they have some stock photos in here. We would just click here and say, we'll say, my Dubai trip, okay, or photos. And then this is really neat because what you do here to add the photos to it is we just go to insert. Okay. So we are now under insert. You can see all of these different options that we have. So under image, we can upload from our computer. We can upload from the drive, because we can put these photos in our drive, in our Google Drive, and then you can pull it from there. You can go from your photos, you can go to another link. You can, if you have your camera attached to your computer, through USB, you can pull it from your computer, and then you would just select that item and it will load, and then you can pop it right into the spot you want it to be put in. And then you can just go through each one and put each photo however you want it, and you can lay it out that way. I did that one because it was something that I guess easier to imagine doing quickly with your family. If you're not, if you can't think a way that you can associate the Google Slides with an organization or a role, these are things you can do with your family, right? And so, or for yourself. So we'll go back to Google Slides, and what I'm going to do now is open another template, which is a presentation. And I'm going to show you a couple of things here. So this one is already laid out for us. So we can, I'll run through this a little quickly because this will just take some time, just on your leisure. You can go in and plug these, just click a couple different templates and play around with them a little bit. And they're already laid out. So you can change them however you want to. You just double click and then you can go right in and change the text. You can insert images. You can change the text. You can insert videos. You can also insert charts. And say if we do here for, say, a column, I just click column and then it'll go ahead and put the chart in, right? So there are a bunch of different ways that we could utilize these features. And to undo it, all I do is click undo. And as Carmen pointed out, the last time it was edited was seconds ago. So it does an auto save for us, okay? Once you get all your information in there, you can just hit, let's go to slideshow. We'll go to view and then do our slideshow. So really, you could take one of their templates that's already there that will already outline everything for us, and you plug your information in there. And this is a good way to start. I would definitely encourage you to just take maybe 15 minutes of your time when you get time and just scroll through it and try to play around with it. And the more you play around with it, the more comfortable you'll be. And these documents are really easy to share. So you can actually share how you can share it, and you can load it to your drive, and you can have others even collaborate with you on it. So that is a very easy kind of quick version of how to use Google Slides. It's not as intimidating as it sounds. It is so similar to PowerPoint. One of the benefits is that once you actually create that slideshow, you're able to share it, and you can load it to your drive, and it becomes an additional tool that you could use to, okay, I will do that. I just got a question that said, can I go over changing the themes? Yes, I sure can. So if you go over, I just did this. I just did this. That's not it.
Alonzo, I think it may be at the top. It might say design or
I just saw it because I was playing around with it. It is right here, theme. So you're gonna, it's right at the top of the, like Katrina just said, at the toolbar. So it says background, it says layout, it says
can you
theme.
share your screen? You stopped sharing your screen.
I did, I'm sorry. Okay, my apologies. So if you go right here at the top of the toolbar, it says background, layout, theme, and transition. And what I did was I clicked theme, and then over here, it gave me all of the options to choose from. So say you get your information in there on one of the, on one of those templates that's already created, you can go in and change the whole theme of it if you want. You can pick whichever one, whichever, like I said, whatever fits your personality, just make changes to it. Yes, Ms. Moore, you can definitely use this to make some photo albums. It's really easy. It's gonna be, you'll like it. Play around with it. The more, like I said, you play around with it, the easier it becomes to navigate. And again, that's there are different ways you can add audio, you can add video, you can add a lot of different things, links and everything. But if you're just getting started with it, just play around with it a little bit and do some basic things in it. Change the text, change the font, change the theme, and play around with it and see how the easier it will get. And then you can add those other components at any time. You just go to insert and you can plug something else in. Are there any questions at all before I turn it back over to Katrina to wrap up? Awesome. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Bisbee.
I am so excited. It was really great to be able to go through these basic things. And so again, one of the things is that if you know the basics, everything is the same, right? So your insert, your bold, your underline, those components on each feature is the same. It's just, what feature do you want to do? So is it a slide? Is it a doc? Is it a form? And so once you know those things, you definitely are well on your way to being a person who is able to use these things. And so I just want to thank you guys for tuning in and logging on and joining us. We are grateful to have individuals. This is what we do these programs for, and we are grateful for the opportunity to collaborate as well. So again, we would like to thank the Lansing Alumnae chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, the Greater Lansing Area Club of National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's, as well as CHUMS Incorporated. And so we look forward to collaborating with other individuals. You have someone, know of a group that would like to collaborate on some upcoming program features later on in the year or next year, just make sure that you reach out to one of us. And again, we are excited that you were able to grow with us. We were able to grow and learn together. And that's what this partnership is. And sometimes we are fearful of learning new things, but when we're all in this together, it makes it wonderful and great. And now we can be like, hey girl, did you send that email? Did you share that link? Did you create that? And so no longer can we say, we don't know how to do this. So now you're knowledgeable, and I believe and have faith that you'll be able to go forth and do something great with these functions. And so we do have an evaluation that we want to make sure that you guys are going to complete. We will, have that available for you. Again, that helps us to learn and know what future programs we need to do, and just how we did as presenters, because we don't know it all and we deserve feedback and want feedback as well. So thank you for attending